don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me. Hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me. I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me. Hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me.
All right. Welcome to the Scrubs podcast on Are You Entertained? I am on of entertainment, Trey Alessio, alongside my brother. Am I allowed to say your real name, or are we going by aliases?
You say my real name.
All right. This is Ty Alessio, a.k.a. Two Fly Ty Ty. We got my cousins, Cam and Cade Armstrong, Glovelender.
What up?
And the other scrub, Cade. What it do? Cade the Turtle Killa. We all have wanted to hop on a podcast for quite some time now, so I figured I'd bring our crazy pop culture arguments to you guys to enjoy. We like to keep it fun on the show and to keep it in tune with our brand. The theme will be centered, as always, on music, movies, TV, and sports, but to kind of differentiate between the other podcasts, we're going to do some gaming talk. We're going to do some debate segments and
gamers.
Ever-evolving experimental podcasts. So stick with us. We may do this on YouTube. We're obviously going to do it on audio. So thank you for starting the decade off with us. Let's get right into it. So when we have new people on the show, we always ask them rapid fire, what is their favorite movie, TV show, artist, album, sports team. We're also going to do video games because that's what we're going to do here. So you guys, if you're a fan of the brand, you know mine. I'm not going to get into it because this is going to take a while. Ty, you give me how do we want to do this? Do we want to go everyone says their movie and then everyone in the show? Okay.
Yeah, I think
that's fine. We can do however you want to do, man. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't care. Okay.
Yeah.
Run through it all. Give us your all of them.
All right.
All-time favorite.
Okay. So I just want to shout out Are You Entertained? A big day one fan of Are You Entertained? Hey. So I'm happy to be on a podcast.
Day one fan, but he's not wearing the shirt.
Cam's repping the shirt. Much love.
First one off, I think favorite movie is tough to, you got. I'm a big. It's tough to narrow down because you got your action movies, you got your comedy movies. But I think you put a gun to my head. My favorite movie, I'm gonna say, My Cousin Vinny.
Wow.
Joe Pesci and Marissa Tomei, probably the best two performances of all time.
Okay, chill. Favorite. We'll let you do your thing here.
But yeah, so that My Cousin Vinny, I would say that's probably my favorite movie. Big Joe Pesci fan.
TV
show. Gotta stick with my South Park.
Oh my God,
can't go wrong. You can put on any episode, and they're hilarious. So South Park, favorite TV show.
I respect that.
Favorite sports team. Also a tough one to pick.
You can do multiple teams here. You don't have to dwindle it to one sport. Like you can tell me.
Okay. Yeah.
Your sports teams.
Chicago Cubs, probably my favorite overall sports team. Notre Dame, Fighting Irish, college football. The Los Angeles Rams for football. And, NBA is a little tough. I'm a big LeBron fan, and we'll get into that. This year I'm rooting for
them Lakers. All right.
What's
bandwagon?
You have to tell us
favorite
your album and artist.
Yeah. Favorite album, I think is also very tough, but I would have to say "Blonded" by my man Frank Ocean.
Wow.
Favorite album. So if anyone out there listening can find me a vinyl of "Blonded," I'd be happy to get the link.
And who's your favorite artist?
Artist Drake, hands down.
Wow. And we might get into some Drake talk too, so it'll be fun. All right.
Yeah,
Whoever wants to go next, Cam or Cade, I'll let you fight over it.
What you want to do, Kate? You want to go first? You want me to go next?
You got it.
All right. So for my movie, I'm gonna go ahead and pick Interstellar. It's a very good movie. I like the mind blown at the end. As for my favorite show, I'm gonna go ahead and go with just to represent on the show, just represent the community. I'm gonna go with Naruto.
Oh no.
Yep.
Okay. Two
I mean,
anime
there's-
shows, by the way. What the hell is going on here?
Dude, it's like just for
There might be
just to
three.
represent the people out here. Let them know they're not getting shut out.
I respect
All right. All right, for my artist, just because I knew Ty was gonna pick Drake, I had to go not best, but I'm going with my favorite. I'm gonna go with Lil Uzi. He kills it.
that.
Kills it. No Uzi slander around here. For my album, I'm gonna go Rodeo by Travis Scott. It's a fantastic album, top to bottom. For my teams, I narrowed it down to one. Big LA Clippers fan over here. Always have been.
Again.
We bandwagon. Yep, I was a fan as soon as Kawhi's pen touched the paper. You already know. And then for games, I went with Halo Reach because I played that on. Oh yeah, Ty, you missed that. Way to go, man.
That part.
But Halo Reach, I played it so much, even when it was outdated. So that's for me.
Let me throw in my favorite game. I think hands down, Jet Set Radio for me and my man Trey.
I can retweet that.
That game is the ultimate story mode game.
Don't sleep.
It is a fantastic game.
Sega Dreamcast, shout out. All right, Cade, let's hear what you got.
Okay. First, Cam, what was your favorite TV show? Naruto. Yeah. Okay.
I went with Naruto,
Okay.
yeah.
So my favorite movie, I picked. So it's like two. One is Tropic Thunder. I can watch that one so many times. And then for number 2, we got Revenge of the Sith.
Ooh, okay.
For artists, I'm also a Lil Uzi Vert fan.
Oh my god.
Hey, let's go.
TV show, I was gonna pick Naruto, but a close second is the Clone Wars, Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
All right, so
Another
we
animated one.
Star Wars nerds.
Yeah, I'm a big Star Wars guy, so you'll see that.
So we'll be talking. And I just like to point out all of them. So go on. I'm sorry.
What's the other ones? What am I forgetting here?
Sports team.
Album.
Sports teams. I like the Red Sox, Nebraska,
Miami Dolphins.
Houston, and Miami. Favorite video game, Skyrim. I can play that. I still hop on it sometimes. And am I forgetting anything?
Album.
Oh, album.
An artist. Oh, you said
artist was
He said Uzi.
album. I like Love Is Rage 2. You know, there's not a bad song on there, and then also Cruel Summer.
Cruel Summer. I'm about to flame you right now, but we'll get into that later. We'll get into that.
There's a lot better albums than Cruel Summer.
Is your TV show is Sopranos or Game of Thrones?
No, it's Sopranos easily.
Sopranos.
Yeah. The fans know, I've done this a lot of times, so I'm not going to get into mine. Well, it'll just add 10 more minutes to this thing, and we want to get through what we want to get through. So, all right. So there we have it, a little background on the new peeps. Also, because it's January and 2019 just wrapped, and the 2010s just wrapped, we are entering a new decade. So I'm gonna put you guys a little on the spot here. We're not gonna do a top 10 or anything, but tell me your top or favorite album, movie, TV show of 2019 and the 2010s. Is that too hard?
Okay, now I can handle that.
Well, let's see how knowledgeable you are, guy.
I go to bat.
You
want me to go right now? You want me to go right now?
Yeah, let him ponder a little. You go.
Okay. So, what do you want first, man? Just let me know. Kind of guide me here.
Let's do decade, and then we'll do 2019.
Decade. So you want album, movie,
and TV
what
show.
else? TV show. Okay.
Yeah.
So for my TV show, I'm gonna go with Power, cause I know we all but Cade watches it. I'm a little behind a little bit, but I'm out here watching it. Great show.
Quick.
Yeah, for sure.
So 50 Cent, I follow him on Twitter, and he's an executive producer of the show, obviously. Yeah. And so he posted like a little clip, and I thought it was like a promo, and I'm not going to tell you what it was, but I'm like 95% sure that this man spoiled the ending, and he was a troll job. And I am pissed. I know what happened. I know you're a little behind. I won't say, but this man trolled and
It already got
gave it away.
spoiled for Cade anyway at Thanksgiving.
But yeah, for sure, that is the best thing I've seen probably this decade for me. It's pretty crazy. I could not predict one thing that was coming at all. So that's what I'm going to go with for TV show.
We put you onto that.
Yeah, you did put me onto that for sure. Okay, for my album, it's not an easy choice. I got it narrowed down to 3. I definitely have to go with Nothing Was the Same is in there. I love it. Great album. Good Kid, Mad City, obviously. It's Kendrick's debut. And then Rodeo by Travis Scott. That album is so criminally underrated since Astro World came out. It's his best piece of work. All right, what else do you want here?
What do we have? Movie.
Movie. This is tough. A whole decade.
Right.
I think I'm just gonna have to take the easy way out and pick Interstellar because it was my favorite movie of all time or whatever. So I think that's what I'm gonna go with. Take the easy way out.
All right. Now let's just so we can hear from another. That was your decade.
Yep.
Kate, are you ready with yours? And then we'll come back to 2019.
So for album of decade, I got Good Kid, Mad City. For movie, I have Joker.
Of the decade?
What?
Yeah.
Cap.
Respect.
And then what's the other one? Song or
No, TV show.
Oh, TV show. I don't watch too much TV, so Mandalorian.
Okay.
Whole decade.
What's for us?
Yeah, I can. Without giving too much thought to it, I think album you can have a 3-way tie. I don't think there's any wrong answers if you go with Damn, Blonde, or Views. Any of those.
Views.
Either of those 3 are worthy of a top spot of a decade list. Movies, there's so many freaking good movies come out in a 9-year span. I would say, I think a movie that doesn't get the respect that it deserves, that I think we all saw in theaters, was The Green Book. Came out, was that like 2017? I think it went
last year, wasn't it? I think that was last year.
Might have been 2018.
It won Best Picture.
I
thought that was a fantastic movie that doesn't get the kind of respect on Are You Entertained's podcast that I think it deserves.
The OG.
What's that?
2018.
2018.
Last year. Yep.
Also, did Great Gatsby come out in
You'd have to check. I think so.
Yeah, that fantastic movie. Wolf of Wall Street, I would probably say could easily be one of the movies of the decade.
That was my number 1, by the way.
Yeah, Great Gatsby was 2013.
Yeah, so
you're a Leo fan.
I'm a big Leo guy. Big Leo guy.
That's fair.
Best actor of the decade by far.
All right. So we have decades.
Dude,
now,
did you fart? That stinks, man.
Brother, you're not supposed to
call him out on.
So now let's do 2019. Is that too much or?
Yeah.
No, I'm game.
Am I getting too in detail with you guys, or are we good?
No,
we're
I'm
good.
game, man. I came ready to go.
Go with 2019. Let's hear it.
All right. 2019, easily. I'm a huge Marvel fan. Avengers Endgame blew me away. I mean, the scene where the heroes are all coming in is pretty much undefeated, and I also love the scene where.
Jesus. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, okay. It's a little late if you haven't seen it by now, but Disney Plus subscription. There you go. You can watch it there.
Okay.
Plug Disney Plus for them a little bit because Mandalorian's over, so they need the help. They need the help. Okay, for albums, for me it's The Lost Boy by YBN Cordae. This is a recommendation that Are You Entertained put me on. Yes.
Let's go.
Are You Entertained put me on, and I had no clue walking in, and I walked out as I'm gonna keep an eye on this kid for sure. He's insane. He's great. And then what do you want? What else you want? Album, movie, right? TV show? I honestly couldn't give you one for this one.
Well, we'll give you Power because that was in 2019 too. So
That was a season of Power.
right. All right, Cade, do you have yours?
Yep. So for movie, it's only right I do Joker because it's my decade movie.
Makes
That
sense.
movie is so good. For album, I'm also going to do The Lost Boy, but another good one is Revenge of the Dreamers. And then for TV show, Mandalorian.
There we go.
There you go. Yeah, you could have went with Mandalorian. Yeah. I want to throw that one down as mine as well.
Movie, I'm gonna stick to my guns here and say Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, wow.
Ew.
My Irishman movie. Jesus, come on.
I thoroughly enjoyed the end of the Skywalker saga.
We'll get into breaking it down
yeah.
later, but
Yeah, so that would be my movie of 2019. I'm gonna go with Cade here on the Revenge of the Dreamers for the album, and
should we flame this man for not having a streaming service though?
yeah,
For not having what?
Streaming service. He uses Pandora.
That's pretty bummy in 2020. I gotta be honest.
hey, we're living, we're surviving and advancing.
Yeah.
Hey, I know the season's not over yet, but Power from it has been an excellent. What episode are we on? 12,
yeah,
13?
Yeah.
It has been every episode has been solid.
A classic whodunit. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Feeling a little left out.
Yeah, you need to hop on the train.
Yeah.
I
sure.
have to say, your guys' variety is a little disappointing. I got Power. I got Mandalorian.
Yeah.
It's okay though. I'm just flaming.
That's
All
for
right.
TV, and I mean, this year was like, I mean, TV. I mean, I could throw out My Hero Academia, but no one would know what I'm talking about.
My TV show of the year was When They See Us.
Oh yeah, that was also.
Yeah,
really
that
good.
was a good one. I did actually watch that one.
Read the doc, my friend.
The,
All right.
the 2019 is not on the dock.
It's all good. We're having a good time. We're rolling. We're going with the flow, right? Okay, so to move on, I think what'll make the show fun is like we're gonna do more of a segment-based type thing. So every episode we're gonna bring in segments. I think we need to talk about like some headlines for pop culture. I think that'll be fun. And then we'll do like a debate segment, maybe a Q&A segment if we have the time, all that fun stuff. And it'll evolve and maybe switch from time to time. So to kick it off, we're going to do some pop culture headlines. The Oscar nominations just came out, and I want to hear your guys' predictions. So let's see your Oscar knowledge, okay? So we did it on the OG podcast, so I'll throw my 2 cents in, but I'm not going to straight up predict. But we'll start from the bottom up. Actually, so first of all, we'll list them, and then we can talk about it. So, all right. Oscar nominations, supporting actor. We have Brad Pitt in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Al Pacino in The Irishman, Joe Pesci in The Irishman, Tom Hanks in A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, and Anthony Hopkins in The Two Popes. Okay, so we'll do it category by category. What do you think here? If you had to make a decision, who are you taking?
Take the lead, Ty.
I'll kick it off here. I really will be interested to see how the Netflix shows, movies do at the Oscars here.
Right.
So I think, I personally think that they're not going to get as much love as people are thinking. But if I'm picking this category, I'm picking Joe Pesci in The Irishman.
So that's who you think should win.
That's who I think should win.
Okay. But if you think who is going to win, is it different?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would have to go with is Brad Pitt nominated?
Yeah, Brad Pitt. I think it's Brad Pitt's to lose, honestly. He's been gaining momentum. He won the Golden Globe, SAG Award, so he has the momentum. I think it's his to lose. I personally was not the biggest fan of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. but his performance, you have to try and get in the mind of these voters, and I think it's his to lose. So that's my opinion on it.
I agree. Yeah, I think Brad Pitt is going to win this, and he would actually be my pick to take it too. Considering I haven't seen The Irishman quite yet, because you do have to block off a whole day to watch it.
You need 4
But
hours.
I have seen Once Upon a Time, and I actually liked it. I'm a sleeper fan of Quentin Tarantino.
Okay, we can discuss that another time. But Cade, hear it.
It's unanimous. I agree. I piggyback off it. Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt. Okay. So let's get into some supporting actress. We have Kathy Bates and Richard Jewell, Laura Dern in Marriage Story, Scarlett Johansson in Jojo Rabbit, Florence Pugh in Little Women, and Margot Robbie in Bombshell. Does anybody want to kick it off here?
I'll kick it off. I think my girl ScoJo is gonna have a big night at the Oscars.
Have you seen Jojo Rabbit?
I haven't not seen Jojo Rabbit.
Really good movie.
I'm a big Scarlett Johansson fan, and I saw her performance in Marriage Story. So alluding to my pick in Best Actress.
She's gonna get a double win.
I think she's gonna.
Wow. That'd be a big move. I don't know the numbers on that, like if that's happened before, how many times it's happened. It has to be a rare occurrence, but that's a bold choice. I'm going to go Laura Dern in Marriage Story. I think she killed it in that small supporting role. I know she won the Golden Globe. I don't know about the SAG Award, but I personally think it's hers to lose. So that's mine. Cam and Cade, what do you got?
Yeah, I don't have an educated opinion on any of these, but I've heard a lot of good stuff about Scarlett Johansson and Jojo Rabbit, so that's going to be my pick.
Okay. Cade, switch it up for me here.
I've watched Marriage Story, and that's a good movie. That's a really good movie. So Laura Dern.
Right.
Did it tug at your heartstrings?
Yeah, I was crying.
You should have thugged here, didn't you? Don't lie.
Yep.
I respect that. So you're going Laura Dern?
Yeah.
All right, so we're split. We're split on that one, Laura Dern and ScoJo. All right, let's get into some of the lead actor and actresses. We're going to start with actors. Antonio Banderas in Pain and Glory, which I have not seen, but I've heard is a really good movie, and I've heard he has a good performance. Leo DiCaprio in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Adam Driver in Marriage Story, not Star Wars. Phoenix and Joker, and Jonathan Pryce in The Two Popes. Type, what do you think?
So I think it's pretty clear and cut in this category. Joaquin deserves the win. He had an outstanding performance in Joker. That was a phenomenal job. But I do want to give a shout out to The Two Popes. Excellent movie.
It is good.
And he is definitely deserving of a nomination. Just a tough year because there's a lot of good movies out there, and a lot of good performances.
So I'd like to point out that 2 snubs. One, Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems. I was really pulling for him to at least get a nomination. And then Robert De Niro in my movie, The Irishman. Really surprised that he didn't get the nomination.
On that one.
Now, he didn't get the nomination for the Golden Globe, so I was like, okay, maybe the Oscars won't show him love. I just don't get it. I said it on the OG podcast. I don't get it. Sometimes when these actors have reserved roles where they're kind of level-headed and they're more of a quiet character, I don't think the Academy shows them as much love. But sometimes if you look at it from a different angle, that takes more talent and it's harder to portray that role. Right. And so I think Robert De Niro did a great job of doing that. So I really think he deserved to get it. Like you said, I think it's Joaquin Phoenix's to lose. But don't sleep on Antonio Banderas and Leo. I think it's a 3-way race. You know what? And I'll even throw Adam Driver in there. This is a packed list.
Yeah.
It could be anybody's, but I think Joaquin Phoenix has the momentum. They led the award nominations with 11 on the total list. So Hollywood loves this movie, and he killed it. So
I do want to interject. I don't. Trey talked about Adam Sandler getting snubbed here. Wasn't a big fan of Uncut Gems.
He doesn't get it.
And I wasn't too sad that they left Adam Sandler off this list, even though it is tough for a comedian to transition into a serious role. Although he played a good performance, the overall movie I just didn't think was.
So did you not like his performance, or you didn't like his movie, or kind of both? What didn't do it for you?
I thought.
Have you guys seen it, by the way? Yeah.
Nope.
No, I have not. I don't have any time to go see that.
Spoil it for you, but
Just wait until it comes out on Netflix, and I'm out
I
here.
saw 1917 instead.
I heard a rumor that it was coming out in January on Netflix. I don't know though.
I did see something like that.
So a few things didn't do it for me. One, Adam Sandler's teeth in it were just incredibly annoying, and I just found myself looking at them too much. I don't know if he was wearing like dentures.
I
or
don't know. It
braces or
did look
something like
it
that.
did look kind of weird, but
That part was
Who cares?
very annoying for me. And I think Adam Sandler's performance, was good enough in like a normal year to maybe get a nod for a Best Actor. Although I don't think his performance was good enough to win on a normal year.
That's fair.
Best Actor. But without spoiling Uncut Gems for people that haven't seen it, it was a movie filled with anxiety for the sake of being filled with anxiety.
that makes it good.
And for me, it just wasn't entertaining. Yeah, my hands were sweating, but for what cost? It just did.
I don't know, Ty. It sounds like it did it for you. You just want to be a hater.
Yeah, I agree.
Calling them out. I love it. All right, so you're going
a hater.
to Phoenix. What do you guys think here?
Go ahead, Cade.
So, Joaquin Phoenix for Joker, he really embodied the Joker. So, he's the front runner, but I like Adam Driver too in Marriage Story. Adam Driver's a really good actor. He puts everything into his roles.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Or Cam, you going Joaquin on this one?
Yeah, I'm also going to go Joaquin, but I also want to shout out Robert Downey Jr. Wish he would have got just a nom for those 10 years he served as Iron Man. But
Sorry to interrupt you. For supporting,
go on ahead.
I don't know. It's a packed year for movies, man. It's too bad, but I just want to
toss him a nom would have been great.
It would have been cool for sure.
Yeah,
I also think that Joaquin Phoenix, just his transformation. He's skinny. You can see bones. It's a very different Joker than Heath Ledger's Joker. So I think a lot of people went in wanting more of what Heath Ledger gave, and it just is totally different. Like this is a look into mental health, and I think he just really killed it. So I would be happy to see him win. But I could also see some of these other actors getting an upset and winning too. So we'll see.
And I also,
let's move.
I haven't seen a movie where one actor kind of carries the workload the whole movie, and I've been entertained the whole time. So that was pretty impressive.
Right, exactly. It was totally a character-driven movie, character-focused, and he nailed it. I agree. So
I think that's pretty common with a lot of Joaquin Phoenix, and I think he gets slept on as an actor because a lot of his performances, he is really like. Have you guys ever seen Her? Her's great. It's pretty similar. Like it's a movie like just solely carried by Joaquin Phoenix, and he gets slept on as an actor.
Yeah, there's a movie out there called The Master, and he won the best actor for that. I haven't seen it, but I've heard it's amazing. I'd like to see it. I think it's on Netflix actually, but yeah, I've heard it's really good. So he's outstanding for sure. He definitely is a method actor and he embodies every role that he plays. So very interesting. All right, let's move on to actress here. Cynthia Erivo. She played Harriet Tubman in Harriet. Scarlett Johansson is a double nom for actress. She got it for Marriage Story. Saoirse Ronan for Little Women. Charlize Theron in Bombshell, and Renee Zellweger in Judy. From what I have heard, just kind of following the Twitter sphere, and I've heard it's Renee Zellweger's to lose in Judy. I have not seen that movie, but I've heard she's incredible. So with that, let's make some predictions. Ty, what do you got?
I've already said it. ScoJo, she's stealing the show. I think she's winning.
Marriage Story was powerful, so I can knock that. What do you got?
Yeah, I've actually seen Marriage Story. It's the only movie I've seen in here, and so I'm gonna pick ScarJo.
Okay.
Same thing for me. Scarlett Johansson.
I have to go just with the majority. I not with your majority, but the majority there.
Oh, he agrees.
Hey,
He agrees.
You haven't even seen the movie.
I haven't, but I follow the movie sphere on Twitter, and I know I have a feeling. Just believe me. All right, let's get into
by the critics.
the big talk. Best Picture. We have Ford vs Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, 1917, and Parasite. I've seen all of these movies except Little Women and Parasite. So I have a little bit of knowledge on these movies. So it was a really unique year, and I went to see a ton of movies. So I personally think 1917 is going to win. It is an incredible movie. Cinematography wise, I think it's a lock. But if I had to choose my favorite, it would obviously be Irishman. But I'm telling you, don't sleep on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It has a lot of momentum right now in these other awards. So I could see that maybe getting and Hollywood loves Hollywood. So look out for that. But Ty, what do you got?
I haven't seen the Ford versus Ferrari, and I haven't seen what are they?
Jojo Rabbit.
I haven't seen 1917. So out of the movies that I've seen on here, I think I'm gonna have to take if I'm picking what I think out of the movies that I've seen, I think Joker is probably gonna win out of the movies that I've seen.
Okay.
But
it did have 11 nominations. So.
I do think Joker could have a sneaky, really good night at the awards.
I mean, not to play devil's advocate, I don't know if it'd be sneaky because they led the nomination. Yeah. But I think in terms of the expectations, I don't know. I think it is Joaquin Phoenix's movie at this point. I think he is supposed to win performance-wise, but I think the movie isn't expected to win. So that, in terms, would be an upset. So I appreciate.
I got a question. Do you think your movie, The Irishman, is gonna get any love?
I don't think it's a damn shame, but I
don't hear you picking it for anything.
Because I'm trying to get inside.
He's trying to pick what he thinks is gonna win.
I don't think it's going to win. I think it deserves to win. Absolutely. I think it's better than a Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Joker, but look at it is.
I don't know.
And Scott, we got the scrub parents in the room. Let's go. All right. What do you guys think for Best Picture, though?
Yeah, I'm going to. Oh, you'll go? All right, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to stop riding the Joker train because I've just been saying that over and over. And I'm going to go with 1917 because that movie is it's really good. There's just a lot of just great shots. Right. I don't know if it may be a spoiler when they're in the city.
Right.
That's burning. Yeah.
And I want to point out in that point, I know you haven't seen it, right, Cam?
No, I have not.
So in that, it felt like he was in hell because of how orange and just beautiful.
And it felt like there was no escape for him.
Right. I think it's a lock for cinematography. You can argue that it might lose in Best Picture, but I like the pick. It's a simple story, but cinematography-wise, I don't know if I've seen a movie like that where it's literally looks like it's shot in one take. It's just absolutely beautiful. So I like it. What do you got, Cam?
All right, for my picks, first of all, I want to say, Parasite, I've heard it's gaining a lot of ground. Hear that's actually super good.
I would not be.
Yeah. That's not my pick. My pick is still Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It was super good, carried by Leo and Brad Pitt. It's got everything you want. That's my pick.
Okay. We have a little bit of variety there. I appreciate that. So, best pick or Oscars is coming up. So we'll have another update next time potentially on who actually did win, and we'll see where our picks landed. Move on in the movies TV category. We're gonna try and do 3 or so headlines with each music, movies, TV, and sports. So we'll talk about that and get into our actual segments here. But Christian Bale was announced that he's gonna star alongside Chris Hemsworth and Natalie Portman in Thor: Love and Thunder, directed by Taika Waititi. So that's huge news. My question to you guys is, who do you guys think he's going to play? Me personally, it's tough because he's such a big name. I personally think he's going to play a villain because he's just too big of a name to play a character that comes back and comes back in the MCU. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I've heard people say there's a character out there called Beta Ray Bill, and he's from some weird alien species, but people have wanted him in the MCU for a long time. And so when Christian Bale got announced, they said, "Oh, Beta Ray Bill, Beta Ray Bill." A lot of people want that, but I think he's a hero, so I just don't know. I don't know. It just feels like he's too big of a name for him to recur in the MCU, but you never know. Disney has the money, so who knows? What do you guys think?
I don't have much to say on this one other than, Christian Bale is a phenomenal actor. So I think whatever they decide to roll with him, he's going to kill it and do a good job. And I look forward to when this comes out. But yeah, Christian Bale, he'll kill it. Whatever he's in, he does a good job.
On the villain side, I have heard predictions of Ares, the god of war.
Okay.
So that could be something. But what do you guys think on this? Do you like the news?
Yeah, I would like to see him play a villain with already two main characters. So the villain is bound to get a lot more screen time than just some groupie hero. So I hope he plays a villain and get a bunch of screen time.
Cade?
Yeah, I think you just put him at a villain and you just try and make that villain like the best as possible, because he's obviously gonna make that villain better. So you just try and get the best villain you can for that movie and just let him roll with it.
Do you think he replaces Loki? Like, what do you think? Depending on what happens in the series, the Disney Plus series coming up, Loki, is he going to be a villain that recurs and we'll see him again, or will he die in this movie? Do you think?
I don't think he dies.
I don't know. That's tough. I mean, they normally in just like solo movies like that, they just tend to kill people all the time.
We're known for making these dope villains and then killing them off. So that's why I asked, maybe does he replace Loki?
I don't think
It'd be cool
Marvel
to see.
kills him. I think they keep him as like a after credit scene. He's gonna come back. He's just gonna be like, "I'm alive," and then
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. They kill him but leave the door open for him to come back. Yeah.
Okay, that would be interesting. All right, staying in the Taika Waititi realm, he's the director of Thor: Love and Thunder, so this is a seamless transition. He was approached by Star Wars to write and direct a Star Wars movie. What do you guys think of that news? Do you want to predict what it could be? There's a lot. We'll get into it when we talk Mandalorian and Rise of Skywalker, but just, do you like this news? And I guess if you had to pinpoint one thing that you'd like to see him do, what would it be?
I think it's important because Star Wars is at kind of an interesting point in their franchise where I think if they're going on with another trilogy, they need to, if it's Taika Waititi, stick and have him do the entire trilogy. Because I think we saw in the last trilogy, it got kind of messy when Rian Johnson got thrown in. You got J.J. Abrams.
Right.
So whoever they do decide to go with, I think it's important to stick with them, write it out, let them get their creative throughout the trilogy rather than splitting it up.
I have just I'm spitballing here for you guys. We talked about it a little tiny bit on the OG podcast, the last one we did, but I want to bring it up with you guys. What Star Wars, I don't know, it's very divisive right now. There's some people who love it. There's some people who it was not their favorite Star Wars, and they're kind of at a end point and they need to pivot. So what do you think Star Wars needs to do to get that critical acclaim that Marvel has back? Do you think, what's up? Go ahead.
Ty was talking about a new trilogy. Star Wars said, Lucasfilm said they want to move away from the trilogy aspect.
That I did see that. So I was going to pose this to you guys. What if they started their own universe, if you will, as kind of Marvel?
Oh, like an MCU. Okay.
I think they do these kind of character-driven movies and then loop them together in the end, because we know Kevin Feige's he was approached to do a movie. We haven't had a confirmation that Taika Waititi is doing the movie, but he was approached. We have the rumors of the High Republic and the Old Republic. Do you want to see something where it's character-driven movies and they're all kind of linked together? Do you think that would?
I don't know. I'd rather have them go the other way.
So I have
that's kind of Marvel's thing. that's kind of Marvel's thing already. So like I just kind of like I don't want like a trilogy. I'd almost rather just kind of like see like just spin-offs from here on out, but not like tie it back. And I think what they really need to do, especially what he can do is make them more fun because they're a lot like serious the whole time. And I don't know if people can sit through a whole movie like that knowing it's in a Star Wars universe. I think that's where Marvel really capitalizes. Their movies are fun. So
Kate, I know you got a lot to say on this one, so go
yeah,
ahead.
I'm a big Star Wars guy. So I was thinking about this, and I think the best route Star Wars can go is they have the director that we're talking about. He focuses on the Old Republic, which, if you don't know, there's like a ton of Sith and a ton of Jedi. And you can make a bunch of stories about these Sith, which kill each other for power. The Jedi also are trying to kill the Sith. And it all ends with this big wrap up in the story of the Old Republic with Darth Bane killing everyone and creating the rule of two. So I think you just make movies with these storylines that all lead up to that.
I like that.
But
I really do like that.
And like kind of like what we were talking about though, away from the trilogy setup or kind of the
Away from it, you just let it go as many movies as you need. You have no restraints, you just go.
I have mixed emotions about this one because the trilogy setup is kind of Star Wars. That is your thing. That's what you think about, like the original trilogies.
So you want to see him keep the trilogy setup?
No, I'm not dead set on it. I like the trilogy setup. I love the sagas. But if they do it correctly, kind of the format that Marvel has set up that they've shown that's been successful, I wouldn't be opposed to it. But they'd have to do it correctly. And
because also you got to think about Disney Plus. Looping in Disney Plus. We know of a Obi-Wan series, a Cassian Andor series. They're gonna keep pumping the Disney Plus. So then you got to also think about, do you loop in the TV series with the movies similar to what Marvel is going to do? It's just it's a big discussion and it's very hard. They're gonna I know this is gonna sound bad, but I think they need to take a couple years off, plan a path, and unveil it at some point. Just don't give us these kind of half-hearted movies. I don't know. That's where I land on the whole Star Wars deal.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you saw that time off between the prequels, and then you had, I don't know how many years, and then you had The Force Awakens. There was so much anticipation when The Force Awakens came out, and it was just awesome to finally get Star Wars back. And taking time off can be a good thing for sure.
Right, and I think in that time off you can drop these Disney Plus series that feed us over. So I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see what Star Wars does, but we'll be keeping our ear to the ground. Do you have anything else you want to say, Cade?
Yeah, another thing I think they should do is try and keep the TV shows. They should try and not make them decide on what happens in the movies. They should just kind of be extra, but they should tie in, if that makes sense. They should tie in, but they shouldn't decide what happens in the movies.
Okay, so similar to what we're seeing with the whole MCU and the Sony Spider-Verse with the Morbius. Did you catch it? So similar to what happens in the MCU will affect the Morbius movies and the Sinister Six that they're building, but what happens in the Sinister Six movies won't affect MCU. Is that kind of what you're saying? Disney Plus?
No, it can affect it in little bits, but it shouldn't drive the story.
Okay. I like that. Anything else to add, gentlemen?
Nope.
No, sir.
Okay. All right, let's get into some music here. If you guys haven't listened to these albums, we can kind of fly by this. But two big albums drop on the same day. Circles by Mac Miller, a posthumous album, and Music to Be Murdered by Eminem. Surprise drop. No one saw it coming. So let's talk about it. Have you guys listened to those yet?
I've listened to Circles, yes.
Circles and Eminem.
Okay. Ty, I know you probably heard bits and pieces, right?
Yeah, I've heard. I I didn't.
Whatever comes up on Pandora.
Lil Wayne's not yet. Yeah, I've heard. I've heard most of Circles, and I've heard a few off of Eminem's. And what are we just giving our?
Yeah,
our
we're just saying like
impressions, or-
what are what are your favorite songs? If you're critical about it, what didn't do it for you? That type of thing.
No. I don't have much to say. For Circles, Mac Miller, Gone Too Soon, my guy. Rest in power. I think gave the fans what they wanted. The songs that I have heard, they've been really beautiful and kind of talked about, what really about his life, somewhat. And that's all I'll really say about Mac Miller. Rest in peace, homie. And Eminem, I think it's time to hang it up, my guy.
Hang it up. I was about to say the same thing. I'm on board with that.
So, growing up, Eminem had some bangers, but he came in like a lion and he's coming out like a lamb.
Wow.
It's really sad to see. I'm curious to hear what you guys got to say.
I have a lot to say.
And for Lil Wayne, is almost in the same boat. It's probably time to hang it up too.
Brother, we haven't even announced that yet.
Yeah, figure it out. Come on.
Did Lil Wayne drop something or?
No.
He's dropping his album Funeral next Friday, January 31st.
Okay, I was a little confused about that.
Yeah. Anyway, so I have a lot to say about Eminem.
Yeah, go on ahead, man. Go on ahead.
So I'm very critical about this Eminem album. I'm a huge Eminem fan. I am in the boat that I think he's one of, if not the greatest of all time to do it. But this album, I don't know, it just didn't really do it for me. I think it was very bloated. 20 songs. There are a definite, I don't want to say majority, but there's a chunk of songs here that could have been left off. The one with Young M.A. There's some that, I don't know, just feel corny. It felt like, I don't know, it felt like it was like a mix between Revival and Kamikaze. I enjoyed Kamikaze a lot. I defended Kamikaze hard on Twitter. Revival, I personally think, is his worst album in his catalog. This one falls somewhere in between. I think he's trying to do too much. I have a quote here from something. So DJ Booth, my favorite hip hop publication, came out with their review of it. And then one of the writers quote tweeted it and had a line from the review. He says, if only Eminem cared about making the best music and not being the best rapper. I think that sums it up perfectly because he's spitting bars in even in Godzilla at the end there, the one with Juice WRLD, also R.I.P. He is rapping at light speed. He raps at a very high level and his bars are really potent. But some of the if you peel back the layers and listen to the choruses, and I don't know, it's just some of it is just not enjoyable music. And it sucks because Eminem's one of my favorites. But I think I'm at a point in my life where I would rather play an album like Circles. It means more to me, and it just is better music. There are songs I enjoy on Music to Be Murdered By. Stepdad gets me fired up. The Godzilla one with Juice WRLD's pretty good. The intro is good. The one about gun violence is really good. Darkness. There's a video that's very powerful that I recommend. But it was very bloated, and it just, I don't know, it just didn't do it for me. What do you guys think?
Before we kick it over, that you mentioned Eminem being one of the greatest of all time. And, I think maybe 5-6 years ago, a lot of people were in the same boat. But as more, and this might be a hot take, but the more music he puts out, I think the lower he gets on the list.
Right.
Exactly.
What? After Kamikaze, I wouldn't have said that, but after this, and when he dropped, and it's kind of a short time span, the Revival, Kamikaze, and this one, because normally he takes 3 or 4 years in between each album, but this one they kind of feel all kind of connected. I would agree with you. I think Revival didn't do it. This one just didn't do it for me. Kamikaze I did enjoy, but I think he's starting to diminish his legacy now, which sucks to say. Maybe this album will grow on me. I don't really know, but I don't know. But then again, he's gonna get hated on either way. If he puts out an album like, let's say 444, his version of an adult version of Eminem, that album, he will get hate too. He's just in a spot where he can do no right, really, and it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I agree with you on it's kind of diminishing quality a little bit. So
I just think he's kind of lost his. I think Eminem's best when he's Slim Shady, and he's kind of lost.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I would sorry to kind of keep you guys out.
No, keep going, man. Keep going. I just got something to say to Ty's point once you're done.
But the Slim Shady, yes, I totally agree. But he throws disses on people. Kamikaze was basically a whole diss album. Everybody got flamed on it, and people were pissed because he's bringing people down, and he's not putting on any new rappers. Like, I feel like the society and music in general has changed maybe, and where it was cool and fresh and new back when he dropped Marshall Mathers LP, the people have become accustomed to diss tracks now, where I think maybe he pivots. Like, he hasn't pivoted, and I don't know. I think music, the society has changed, and I think if he does go full out Slim Shady, people have already seen that and they don't really care anymore. That's what he's in a position where he can do nothing right. It sucks. Yeah, you know what I mean? What do you guys think?
Yeah, for the Slim Shady part, like I don't know if he's his best, because I think his best is still Recovery. Big fan of Recovery.
Brandon,
and that was him as Marshall Mathers, I'm pretty sure. Is that correct? Yes?
say that again.
I mean, that was more him, Marshall Mathers, rather than Slim Shady. I don't think there was really...
I would agree.
Yeah, so I'd say that's his best album. And I thought he was starting to get back on track with Kamikaze, because Revival was horrible. It was so bad. And then we got this, and I just think it's time for him. I think he's outdated, to be honest. I think music has just completely changed, and I think he's just not in anymore. I think he just can't figure out what he wants to do.
Do you guys like the idea of a 444 version for Eminem? Like, if he dropped an adult album that was mature and vulnerable and honest, would you like that?
Well, he was pretty honest like that on Recovery. Not like to the level Jay-Z was, but I mean, he was getting there, and that was my favorite one. So, I mean, he can try it, but if it doesn't work, it's time to call it, I would say.
You want my thoughts?
Yeah.
So on Circles and Eminem?
Yeah, sure, whatever.
So for Eminem, you said you're at the point in your life where you enjoy Circles more. And I'm a big Eminem fan, but I can't think of a time in my life where I'd enjoy this album more. It's not it. He needs to hang it up. I really like the Juice WRLD song, but that's it for me. Like, it doesn't go much farther than that. It's the same thing as like, it sounds the same as a lot of his songs, which it will happen, but like 20 of those songs, it's too much.
And I talked about it a little bit on the OG podcast, but I can bring it up here too. I think a Circles by Mac Miller comes from, and this is going to sound corny, and it is what it is, but it comes from a place of love, whereas Eminem's music comes from a place of hate. Like, he's pissed off all the time, and you can see that in his music. Whereas, I don't know, where I'm at in my life right now, I like to have music that I can connect to make me feel better. I don't know. I think there's a time and place for everything, and I think Eminem's music gets you hyped, and if you're pissed and you can relate to that, power to you. But I don't know. I just felt like Mac Miller's album was just absolutely beautiful, and it felt genuine in the way it was rolled out, and I love it. It's a great album. I would be very shocked if it's not on my top 10 at the end of this year. So
Eminem's turning into one of those people that like it are wearing the Monster Energy drink hat.
Kyle.
Eminem is fire, bro.
Yeah, that's a Kyle. That's what you call that.
A Kyle. And the thing is, Eminem stands on Twitter are epic. They'll come at you and say, "You don't know real rap, bro," and it's just funny to watch. But yeah.
They're kind of like mini Treys running around. They're old heads.
That hurt. That cut me deep. Yeah, no, Circles was beautiful. I absolutely loved it. it was apparently supposed to be a part of a trilogy, and the third one was supposed to be more of a pure hip hop album. So it sucks that we won't get that. But I think touching on one more thing, and then we can move on, is it's a beautiful and tragic thing. When Mac Miller died, he was at his creative peak. The beautiful part of it being that he honed his sound perfectly, and he knew what he wanted to say before he died. And it's a beautiful thing, because Swimming is like one of my all-time favorite albums, and Circles just kind of adds on top of that. This one felt a little more hip-hop than Swimming. They're both musical albums, but he was at his creative peak when he died, and it's a damn shame. It's crazy because I have a special place in my heart for Mac Miller. I felt like my musical taste grew as he put out different types of music, and he's special to me, and this album is really beautiful. So,
can I say something about Circles?
of course. What's
okay,
your?
So this is gonna hurt you, Trey, but like I'm not that big of a Mac Miller fan. It's hard for me to listen to him, but personally, I think Circles is a good album. It's comparing it to X's After Death album. It's a lot better. Like, it's not like a cash grab like people say X's was. Right. I actually enjoyed this one.
Right. Yeah, I think it felt genuine. I think, honestly, if Mac didn't die, I think we probably would have got this album last year. I feel like he was in the process of making this album and wanting to drop it. The producer, John Brion, came in, and he finished it, and it felt genuine. So it was a good thing. Good thing all around. So anything else?
I think we need to be on the lookout for Juice WRLD, because I think he's going to have a posthumous thing, and he was a pretty big star. So see how that turns out.
And then just a tidbit before we get into some sports talk. Lil Wayne announced an album called Funeral. It's coming out January 31st. We talked about it a little, but that's what it is. Now let's move on to some sports so we can get into some segments after. Cade, what do you got?
My phone's about to die. Can you cut this part out?
Scrub.
I need to get it on a charger.
Sure, go run and get it. We're not going to.
Sorry about that.
Watch out. Funeral's going to be Lil Wayne's return. Just wait on it. I'm telling you.
I have a good feeling. Hopefully.
Yeah, Wayne's coming back with Funeral. Watch out.
Hopefully. Let's move into some sports so we can get into some. It's kind of been a long podcast as is, but that's okay. We want to get to all of our segments, so let's move right into sports. And then we can talk. So we don't have to really discuss national championship. Kind of a long time since that. The Super Bowl preview, we have the Niners and we have the Chiefs. Who do you guys have? Do you think it'll be a good game? The whole nine. What do you think?
I think this is a really interesting matchup for the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
You got the spread you out, throw it deep, gunslinging Chiefs versus the ground and pound, stout defense in the 49ers. Yeah. I think you're going to see I think what it's going to come down to in this game is who's going to be able to control the clock. If the 49ers are able to slow down Patrick Mahomes and keep their run game going, the 49ers, and control the time of possession, I think you're going to see the 49ers win. But my prediction in this game, I don't think they're going to be able to do it. Nick Bosa is not going to be able to get to Patty Mahomes enough. And you're going to see my man, Pat Mahomes, have a heck of a game. I think he's going to be the Super Bowl MVP, and the Chiefs are going to win in a shootout.
I also think that the Chiefs are going to win. I think this is a perfect matchup as where the Niners are good at one thing, the Chiefs are good in another to kind of combat that. I think this is a good game where one strength plays onto another weakness. Like, I don't know. I think it's just the perfect matchup, and I'm really excited to see. I hope it's a shootout, a high-scoring game. I'm taking the Chiefs. My whole thing with the Niners is that in that NFC Championship, they ran the ball so much, and they did it successfully. And I mean, if they could do it successfully against the Chiefs, then they'll be successful. But I just think that they'll need that other element, that passing game, to win. And Jimmy G is good, but I don't know. I just think the Chiefs are going to take it in this one. But what do you guys think?
I think it's Chiefs all the way. To me, this is gonna be a hot take. I
We
think
have
Patrick
a bunch of
Mahomes.
Westerners here. Sorry, go on.
I think Patrick Mahomes has the most skills of any of the NFL quarterbacks. Like, there's no other quarterback that has as many skills as him. And then Travis
Lamar
Kelce.
slander.
Lamar can
Brother.
run. He's a glorified running back, but Patrick
Whoa.
Mahomes can throw.
Whoa.
Patrick Mahomes can run, throw, no look pass. He's just so good. And then Kelce is pretty much unstoppable.
We're not inviting Cade the Turtle Killa back for episode 2. That's for sure. Lock it. Just kidding. All right. So you have Chiefs. Cam, what do you have?
Well, I was gonna pick the Chiefs, but now that everyone else picked the Chiefs, I'm taking the Niners. I'm taking the Niners. Tom Brady's underling. He's gonna lead the way. And Richard Sherman's. I'm calling it. Richard Sherman's picking off Patty Mahomes twice this game.
Ooh, is that
Wait for that to happen.
MVP?
Huh?
Is that enough?
Sherman give me Sherman as the MVP. He's gonna return from that Achilles injury. Everyone was ripping on him for his contract. He's gonna show the world what's up.
That'd be dope.
If the Niners are going to win, and I think they have the talent to do so, I think the offense, Jimmy G, is going to have to go through George Kittle, and their defense is going to have to step up. Richard Sherman's going to have a good game. They have to get pressure on Patrick Mahomes. They're not going to be able to let him get outside the pocket. So we'll see what strength prevails, but I think it's going to be a good game.
All right. Is that what we have on the Super Bowl? What do you guys think of the halftime performance? Shakira and J-Lo. What do you think that'll be good?
I think it's time to get some rappers in there, like Drake. Let Drake perform, or Kendrick.
And just win.
We have a Call of Duty player in the background getting murked.
Yes, we do.
That's fair. What do you? I think it'll be a good performance. They always have kind of a sneak, like kind of a surprise guest. I think we'll probably get that here too. Normally it gets leaked and it gets announced and it's annoying, but hopefully they keep it a surprise and we'll get kind of more. But I think it'll put on a good show.
Yeah, I think I'm not overly excited for it. J-Lo, Shakira putting them together. That's a lot of good looking women. One.
Hey,
but I do have one beef. Did you guys see the video on Twitter that the NFL put out of them practicing? They're throwing footballs and trying to catch them. It was the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. J-Lo and Shakira were playing catch with the football. The ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life.
You're about to get flamed by the women movement.
That's all right. They need to work on throwing the football a little bit better.
All right. What do we want to go on from here? Do we want to briefly touch on the MLB cheating scandal? Do you want to enlighten us on this?
No. I wanted to talk about the national championship. All I wanted to say on that is go Tigers.
Go Tigers. Go Tigers. You do the MLB cheating scandal. I have to run and use the facilities.
Okay.
Can you lead this real quick? Or?
Sure.
Okay.
The rundown.
Talk about that and LeBron, and I'll be right back.
All right. Well, you don't want to get in on the LeBron.
No, you guys have it.
All right.
LeBron. What's more to say about LeBron? I mean, he's the GOAT.
I guess I'm taking over here. So the MLB cheating scandal, I don't have a whole lot to say about it other than, I hope the MLB gets this right.
What would be right for you, can I ask? Should they be stripped?
What's that?
Should they be stripped, like, of their title or whatever?
I think, you have to toe a fine line of you want to deter this kind of action going forward. And I think stripping them of their titles is something. And I think in the firing of the managers that you saw, the repercussions, I think that is a deterrent as well. I just think they have to get it right, whatever it may be. It's a lot of pressure on the commissioner. It's just really sad to see MLB, a lot of the MLB players being involved in this cheating scandal. It's really sad for one of my favorite games. So I really hope they get this right. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I know your Red Sox have been talked a little bit about a little cheating. So if you guys wanted to touch on it, see what you got.
I have something.
Sure.
So here's what I think is happening. Is the reason. So the MLB, I don't think they've been punishing very hard. Have you kind of noticed how they're not punishing that hard? Like, people are getting fired and stuff, but it's not the worst that can happen. I think the reason they're not punishing hard is because they don't want to open up the scandal more. And if they punish too hard, people are going to start telling about other teams that are doing this. And then it's a league-wide scandal, not just these team scandals.
Yeah, and
that's an even bigger problem.
And I definitely think it's a bigger issue than what the MLB is leading on. I agree with you there. And I think an aspect of this that doesn't get talked about is you've kind of seen the development throughout MLB history. Come on back in, Trey. You've seen in MLB's history, everyone loves to see offense. Everyone loves to see these home runs. But throughout history, you've seen these pitchers develop, throwing 100-mile-an-hour fastballs, 90, 95. And it's tougher for these hitters to, hit and produce this offense. So you've seen kind of a transition. I think that you're seeing teams having to resort to other options here. And it's very sad. I hope the MLB gets this right. I hate to see the cheating in the game that I love. It's a very tough situation for the MLB to be in. I hope the commissioner gets it right.
Yeah, I mean, you can know that 97-mile-an-hour fastball is coming, but can you hit it? Like, I don't know. They didn't.
These guys can
They steal signs all the time, but the way they did it was wrong. So,
yeah,
I don't have a.
Everyone can be in agreement that this is definitely wrong. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I think this is way worse than taking steroids. It takes the fun out of the game for me, at least as a fan. Trey, I don't know if you have any opinions on this.
No, I basically agree. Kind of lame, but yeah. I don't really know a lot about this. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I've heard of it, but I haven't read up on it enough to. Really
I mean, if you look at the batting average difference from home to away games for the Astros, it's crazy.
It's like 190 to like 420. That's like the split.
It's insane.
It's crazy. Educate yourself on it. But yeah, hopefully MLB gets this right.
Okay. I know you guys want to talk about LeBron.
Just throw it out there.
Cam, what do you have in mind specifically about this?
I just shouted out LeBron about to pass Kobe, whatever. He's the GOAT.
Yeah.
It's a big milestone. Figure I'd throw it out there.
He's not the GOAT. That's a debate for another day, but he's not.
People that try and Kobe and the GOAT argument are just kind of like, just trying to stay relevant. Kobe is he paved the way for a lot of people, but I don't think he's in the GOAT discussion. But shout out to LeBron.
Yeah.
Probably pass this tomorrow when they play the Clippers.
I think they played it.
Just because
18.
Just because we're running late on time, I want to get to everything here. So we can kind of shorten our Mandalorian Star Wars talk because we kind of discussed it a little bit. No, we're not gonna skip or anything. But let's talk about Mandalorian and Rise of Skywalker here for a little bit. So I'm going to give my paragraph brief of what happened in the Mandalorian since we all saw it.
I don't think you don't need to summarize it.
I think we do though, and then you can talk about what we like, what we dislike. It's a little paragraph. So Mando goes on a bounty mission, finds Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda saves Mando with the Force. Mando almost collects his bounty. The spoiler alert, by the way, here. Spoiler alert. Rewind. Move forward. Mando almost collects his bounty for Baby Yoda, but grows a conscience and takes him back. He denounces the guild, tries to hide Baby Yoda on another planet, but realizes it's not safe. He goes on a few other missions, heads back with the team to fight a mysterious villain. Mando and his team wins and vows to bring Baby Yoda back to his species. Did I miss anything there?
Nope.
That's pretty much it, right?
Really.
Okay. So let's talk about our thoughts here. What do we think of the first season of The Mandalorian? Cade, I'll let you go first because you're the Star Wars nut here.
Okay, so obviously I loved it. There's sort of a Western feel to it.
Right.
And that's what George Lucas wanted. He wanted a Western in space. And I love that they portray that very well. The Mandalorian is such a good culture in Star Wars that hasn't really been touched on, that it's just a perfect culture to go after and look at. It's like Spartans. There's a reason why 300 is a good movie. People want to see it. So, and then I don't know how I feel about Baby Yoda, but it's Star Wars. It's good Star Wars.
Okay. I'll give my thoughts here. I'm going to be very critical of this show. I really, really, really enjoyed it. I did not love it. I was not enthralled with it. It was entertaining. If I'm going to choose to watch a show, I want to watch a serialized show where one episode leads to another episode, that connects in an overarching theme story. This show felt like it was more of a show that he went on a mission and he went on another mission and he went on another mission, and then they kind of looped it back in the end, but it just felt like a show of him and Baby Yoda going on missions, and I liked it. It was entertaining, but I'm not gonna above a Sopranos, Game of Thrones. Like, I like shows like that.
Can you explain an episode where like you don't think it ties in?
Okay, I have one very big example. We talked about it in detail on the OG podcast, but I don't remember exactly what episode. I think it was like 5, where the very last thing, I think they're on Tatooine, and you see the kneeling guy going for the lady bounty hunter who they were shooting at, and then it cuts, and you're like, oh my God, what is that? Who is that, basically? And then the next episode is the Bill Burr episode, where they're all the alien girl, and they're all trying to break out whoever they were trying to break out, and they didn't go back to it. Now, you could make the argument that that was the big villain in the end, who the name is escaping me. What was the guy's name? Do you know, Cade?
Nope.
Okay, you know what I'm talking about, though. The big villain in the end. You can make the argument that the kneeling down guy was him, but they never went back to it. In a serialized show that like I'm talking about, the very next thing in the next episode, you would have revealed who that character was.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just, I don't know. It felt like standalone episodes. They were incredible, and it was very unique in the way they were basically movies, the way they were shot and the visuals. But in terms of the storytelling, it felt episodic, if that makes sense. What do you have? I know you're thinking.
Well, Cade, do you want to go?
Yeah, go.
I feel like you're gonna align with Trey.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm also gonna align with Trey here. I would have just liked to see you go point A to point B rather than doing the runaround, just kind of random stories. So I mean, it was cool. It was fun to watch, but it wasn't like the most fantastic thing I've seen.
And also, I think season 2, they could go wherever they want. I like the idea of them exploring Yoda species and us learning more about the child, because that's my fascination with this Mandalorian show is Baby Yoda and how he uses the Force and how he came to be. Is he related to Yoda? Is he just a species? Yeah, go for it.
On that, I personally don't want them to like indulge in this Yoda stuff. I want them to keep Yoda a secret, because one, it's what George Lucas wanted. He wanted him to be a character who's there, but you don't know much about him. There's a reason he didn't say his species or his home planet. He didn't want it to be known. I don't want them to make a name for the species or show his home planet at all.
But let me to rebut you. I think Taika Waititi and maybe Jon Favreau, or maybe it was Pedro Pascal, the guy who plays the Mandalorian. They know the name. They came out and said they know the name of the child. So I think we're gonna learn more about him.
I'm okay with the child like having a name, but not the species of the child.
You shrouded in mystery.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the Mandalorian did its job. I think it was entertaining, had appeal to a mass audience, which I think that was Disney Plus's intention with the Mandalorian. As Star Wars fans, I think we dive a little bit too much into it. I think it was an entertaining series. My expectations going into it weren't extremely high, so they met my expectations. So I thought I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was going to move the universe forward any. I thought it was going to tell a story. I thought the Baby Yoda factoring into it was a very cool aspect of the show.
I have a rebuttal, a devil's advocate for you. You said that Mandalorian did its job, but so did Solo. I feel like Solo did its job, and it was a lot of people hated that movie.
I like Solo.
I like Solo.
What's your point?
I like it too. No, I'm just saying, like, a lot of like big Star Wars fans out there, we like it, but a lot of people hated that movie and thought it was a failure, and it halted all of the Star Wars spin-offs movies, like from a box office standpoint. I just think it did its job. It was entertaining. It was even supposed to open up a door for more sequels. I don't know. Mandalorian did its job, but did it do it to the level of where they thought it was going to?
I also think it's different on a movie
critically
aspect.
wise, by the way.
I think on a movie aspect, it's a lot different when that's playing in theaters versus Disney Plus. I think they're trying to widen their audience a little bit, kick off this streaming service. So I think you're kind of comparing oranges to apples a little bit there, but they do have some similarities. And I enjoyed Solo. I thought it also did its job and it was entertaining.
There you go. All right. Where do you think the Mandalorian is going in season 2? We talked a little bit about the Baby Yoda species, but what do you see happening with the story in season 2?
I got an idea for this one.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so we saw the Darksaber. Oh, spoiler if you haven't seen it.
Spoiler.
So we saw the Darksaber. We saw how this bad guy, he wields the Darksaber. So we're going to see a build-up in trying to take this guy down. Where everyone under him, I bet Mando goes after them first, and it's just like a ladder. But in terms of characters, I bet we see Iden Versio, which if you don't know, she's from the Battlefront 2 campaign. She's a Inferno trooper. She's a big one. I bet we see her. And
it was also announced, sorry to interrupt you, that they're exploring characters that we already know of. That was announced, and
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Do you think we'll get any old characters?
I could easily see us getting old characters.
What characters?
That's another discussion. I want to hear Cade's thoughts on this one.
I think we see Boba Fett in the end of season 2 for a cliffhanger.
So you're saying he survived Return of the Jedi. This is between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens.
I don't believe that the best bounty hunter in the galaxy is gonna die to a Snarlack pit.
Okay. So you think we see Boba Fett?
Yeah.
He could even then if that's the case, he could be the kneeling down guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my big low key character is Iden Versio.
In the video game.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What do you think, Cam? Do you have any ideas where season 2 is going?
I mean, if I'm being honest, my guess would be that it's just going to be like the same thing we've already been seeing. Just random missions, this and that, and then with the slight tie-in at the end.
Did you like it? Have you liked it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It just didn't have a storyline really to me, but it was cool to watch. I liked it.
I think it would be interesting if they explore a little bit more the Mandalorian species itself.
Yeah.
And,
that was the coolest part of the whole show for me.
Can I say another
when
thing?
they actually did that.
Yeah, and I think it would be really cool if they brought in Boba Fett. I think that'd be really cool too.
That would be cool. I don't know. I disagree with you, Cade, in the fact that I kind of hope we see a little bit of Yoda species. That kind of got me fired up at the end there.
Yeah. Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, of course.
Another thing I'd like to see is how Mandalore falls. Because if you don't know, in the Clone Wars, they have like a civil war and everything. And then in Rebels, which is another Star Wars TV show, they show Mandalore, the planet, and it's just like a desert planet. Everything's destroyed.
Okay. So get more backstory there.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. All right, let's. Should we move on to some Rise of Skywalker talks? I know Ty is chomping at the bit with this one. Right. So obviously, this is wrapping up the whole Skywalker saga. I don't have the paragraph brief like I did for the Mandalorian. There's a lot to get to there, but do you guys think that they wrapped up this saga in a perfect way? Did they answer all of our questions? Did they leave any questions that we'd like to be answered? What do you think of this?
I'll start
Kick
off
it off,
here.
Ty.
I thought Rise of Skywalker, fantastic movie from beginning to end. I was entertained from the opening scene to the ending credits.
Can we put you on blast real quick, though?
Sure, you can nitpick little different things, and we're going to talk about this later, how people are overly critical of Star Wars, but they look over different things in Marvel that they're not as critical about.
That's
I agree.
Wow, I wonder who he's talking about. I really wonder who he's talking about.
Star Wars had a better job to land the plane than Marvel did in this movie. My hat goes off to J.J. Abrams. He did it in a fantastic job, my guy. I was entertained, like I said, from the beginning to the end. That opening scene with Palpatine, probably one of the best opening scenes in a Star Wars movie, I think. And I loved how they tied that in with this storyline in the Skywalker saga.
and Rey.
And Rey. And my two beasts, and I've told Trey, and I think I've told both of you about it, was the kiss with Kylo Ren. Could have done without that.
Right.
And calling it the Sith Wayfinder. Probably could have found a cooler name for that or something other than that. It was a fantastic movie. It did its job. It wrapped up the Skywalker saga. I don't think it answered every single one of our questions. And I think that would have been needed an additional hour to do.
Right.
Just because of the way the the Last Jedi kind of screwed everything up a little bit. But it did its job. It wrapped everything up in the best it could in the time period that they had. And yeah, I liked it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I liked it a lot. I thought it was an enjoyable movie. There definitely were flaws in the movie. And I'm excited to hear you let discuss the Marvel versus Star Wars debate, whatever. I don't know. I think so can I put you on blast here a little bit? You say that you like Rise of Skywalker more than you did Endgame, correct? So I don't know. I personally think that there were so many movies leading up to Endgame, and they put a bow on it so perfectly. And this one, it got messy. I know you're gonna play devil's advocate on me and say JJ didn't have all three movies, and he did the best he could with what he had. Yes, I get that. It is what it is. I don't know what to tell you.
Figure it out, man. Do better.
Like I think he did what he could, but there were still flaws, and I think it wasn't a perfect movie, but it was an enjoyable movie. That's my whole thing. The Rey Kylo Ren kiss definitely could have did without that. My other little beef is for this being a new movie, I think they introduced too many little side characters. I think it drove away from the plot line a little bit. Like the girl in the end who quite possibly could have been Lando's daughter. Why did we need that? They introduced the new droid and Babu Frick. I actually really liked Babu Frick, and the droid actually played a big part in the role or in the whole storyline. But there was just a bunch of these side characters that maybe we could have done without. I liked the Palpatine twist with Rey. That was interesting and fun and cool. I question whether the Palpatine was more of a marketing grab. Like, did they just bring him in just to bring back some nostalgia and loop the trilogies all together, or was it genuine? That's just kind of a rhetorical question, but I don't know. But let's hear what you guys think.
So
Go ahead, Cade. You're gonna talk for an hour, man.
I really like the movie. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it short. I really like the movie. I'm on the side with Ty. Marvel people, they're being hypocritical with I'm calling out Cam pretty much. He's too hypocritical. He's too critical and hypocritical. And Palpatine was a fantastic final villain. He's the best Sith ever. It's amazing to bring him back and like to show the power he had. It was great. The only thing I didn't like was when Rey said at the end, Rey Skywalker. I don't think she should just adopt that name. I think she should have said Rey Palpatine.
But then you got to change the title.
I think I found that part interesting because, you know, in a couple previous scenes, you saw Rey being the entire Jedi saying, we're with you, we're with you, we're with you. And then you got Palpatine, who is all of the Sith, who we find out is in Rey too. So I think she makes the conscious choice of being, you know, she's the balance of the Force pretty much. Like she is the prophecy that they've talked about from the very beginning. And she makes the conscious decision that she is good over evil and she's a Skywalker. So I didn't really have a big issue.
That's a good take.
I didn't have a big issue with her saying that she's a Skywalker. I think it was a conscious decision from her. But I liked it. I liked it.
One scene, my absolute favorite scene was when Rey kills Chewie. I love that scene because it's Kylo versus Rey pulling a ship, which we've never seen that much Force power. And then Rey just electrocutes the whole thing. And when she screams Chewie, I don't know,
that scene was awesome. And
the
battle before that with her and Kylo Ren was fantastic on the death ship. Yeah, and the water flying. Just fantastic.
Cam, you have anything to add?
Yeah, I have a lot to add. I mean, I don't know. I didn't like it that much. I mean, I wasn't a hater. I think it was dumb that they brought back Palpatine. That was so lame to me. Because to me, that just means they couldn't develop someone better. Like, that's lame to me. And you say I'm being hypocritical, but they were building Thanos. They didn't bring him back.
A new character in a 2.5 hour, 3 hour time frame in an end of a saga. It would have been tough to introduce a new villain.
Yeah, it really would have been tough. But if you were developing, say, a Kylo Ren from the first movie, I think I give him a lot of bad stuff because like I didn't like it, but I do see where you guys are coming from, where he did not have all 3 movies to work with, which is fair. So like he gets a little bit of defense for that, but I don't know. I didn't like bringing back Palpatine. That scene you were talking about with the ship, I wish I would have seen more of that with her lightning. Go ahead, Trey. You can go ahead and jump in now.
I was just going to say they had that villain in the palm of their hand. They killed him off in Last Jedi. Snoke was that villain. They should not have killed him. He should have been the big bad in the end.
There you go. There you go.
And I think that how they get away with it is, you know, you were talking about how they were developing Kylo Ren into potentially being like the big bad villain. But what I think is important to remember, he is a descendant of Darth Vader, and he had you've seen in the past 2 movies before the Rise of the Skywalker that he has good in him. He has the inner fight within him, and I thought it was interesting to kind of see the Vader kind of play out in him. So I kind of knew going into it he wasn't going to be the big bad villain. So I wasn't mad that it wasn't him.
You weren't mad that it was the redemption of Kylo Ren.
Yeah, no, not at all. And I enjoyed to see the inner struggle throughout Kylo Ren's arc in the movies.
I just think it was a little predictable. I mean, but it is what it is. I was okay with the redemption.
Okay, but was it predictable that one of Captain America or Iron Man was gonna die in
True. Yes.
Okay.
You just didn't know which one.
Cam, we can't hear you.
No, I can't. We can't hear you, but it's okay.
Terrible audio for the podcast. Thanks, Cam. You're ruining it.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring up this point of when people say they don't like Palpatine coming back, they say it's stupid and he should. Yeah, and they say it's stupid and they shouldn't have came back, but you can argue that time travel is stupid in Marvel.
I would agree, and I'm a huge Marvel fan. I would agree that the time travel was not the best way to do it.
I don't think either of those are stupid. I think it's what's in the universe that's possible in the universes, and that's how it is.
I just didn't like the Palpatine comeback. That was my biggest beef. And then at the end, it would have been cool to see a more shocking ending. Than it was very predictable through and through. Once Palpatine came back, you knew Rey was related to him. That's what I'm saying. Once you knew Palpatine was back, you knew Rey was related to him. You just knew kind of what was happening.
Okay,
Cam, was it not predictable that they were all going to come back after the snap?
That's true. Everyone knew there was going to be time travel.
Was it predictable that Iron Man was going to sacrifice himself the way he did?
Yes.
The most selfish? No, that's wrong, because you would think it was Cap who was going to do it that way and take the selfless way out, and not Iron Man, who's been selfish throughout the whole
And
MCU.
everyone knew Captain America was going to use Thor's hammer. That was not a surprise at all.
That's because they alluded to it. They showed you that in Age of Ultron.
There wasn't that many surprises in Endgame.
It was a huge surprise that Iron Man sacrificed himself for everyone else when he's been the most selfish character in the MCU throughout all movies. That's
Everyone
a surprise.
Knew Iron Man was going to die.
He's going to die, but you didn't know he was going to do it for everyone else.
No, you knew. What?
No, I'm not on this one.
He's been the most selfish character throughout the whole MCU, throughout all movies. The most selfish.
I don't agree with that.
You don't agree with that? Go back and watch him. Go back
Selfish,
and watch
but
him.
You can tell deep down he's actually not. Like,
Go watch him.
Was it Iron Man 2 or 3 when that kid, he just leaves him? And
Iron Man 3.
Yeah, he's joking. And then that kid comes home one day, and then Iron Man bought him a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, because he helped him.
Exactly, but he acted selfish in the moment.
Yeah, that's
so
what he
does.
does.
So he wasn't actually.
I will say to play devil's advocate too, Cam, I think I agree with Cam here, but I think in terms of a storytelling, the arc would have been to throw it on its side and him to become selfless. Like when you're making a character, he starts off selfish, he becomes selfless. So in terms of the arc, I see it, but in terms of like him being the most selfish character throughout, I think I do agree.
Yeah. Well, this is what it is.
That's not the core of the argument.
Yeah, we're talking Star Wars.
The core of the argument is that you're being overly critical on things in Star Wars that are equally as predictable in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Look, I thought I expected more from Star Wars, man. That's all I'm saying.
How could you expect more after 8?
After what? After 8?
After 8.
Because this is George Lucas, man. This is George Lucas coming back.
No, it's not
George
Lucas.
I would have liked to see, I would have almost rather had him see playing on the whole war that was alluded to at the end of 8, where a bunch of these kids had the Force, and a time skip, and that Rey's leading almost an army, and Kylo's leading almost an army. I would have almost rather saw that than what we got, to be honest.
I say we all fight in the back after this.
Okay.
All right. Does anybody else have anything on Rise of Skywalker?
Nope.
Okay. Do we want to talk about the future of Star Wars, or have we talked about that enough?
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Because I think they're going to take a little break for. We'll have time to discuss future of Star Wars later.
Okay. All right. We want to talk a little bit about gaming because that's kind of our thing. We are on the Scrubs chat and we game together. I haven't played with you guys for a minute. I just want to call y'all out. I mean, what's up? I'd say y'all want to hop on and play, but I always get I'm busy. Come on.
I do have to stay on later.
I do
I'm
have
just giving you the runaround, man. I only play with good players.
Oh.
I think a contributing factor to this is this Call of Duty just hasn't been as good as the previous one. For me, at least, it just.
I like
this one. This Modern Warfare, I've hit 155 both seasons. I'm level 100 on the Battle Pass. I've definitely put in the time on this one. This is one of my favorite in a while.
I just disagree. I really, really enjoyed the last one. As you know, I was Dark Matter. I was the best Call of Duty player on this podcast in the last one.
Wrong.
You guys can nitpick and say the specialists could get a little annoying, but I think the overall gameplay of the last Call of Duty, you had the Battle Royale, which I thought was really fun.
That was cool.
We all enjoyed that.
Big fan of the Battle Royale right here.
This Call of Duty, it just seems a little sweaty. It seems a little cheesy for me. It's a lot tougher, if you will, which has its benefits and then it has its cons too. Like at the beginning, dude, the shotguns were so freaking annoying.
They were
the
OP.
claymores, the campers. Like this Call of Duty's too camping for me, and it kind of turns me off a little bit.
I will back you on the camping part. It feels like it's more so for, as you put it, the sweaties. I think like we're just casual. Me and Ty are just casual players. You guys are a little more studly, but I don't know. I feel like it's very easy to run out and die. And my gameplay is run and gun, and it is what it is. But I enjoy it. I like it. I feel like I've gotten better a little bit, but I like it.
So what I think they kind of fixed the shot. So my problem, I felt like I could go 20-0 in Black Ops 4 with the shotgun with the flashlight. You know, it was pretty easy. I like the challenge of Modern Warfare. There's not as much camping now in Claymores and 725s. So now that that's out, I really enjoy this one.
Yeah, and I like that they brought in some of the old maps. They had Shipment 24/7, Shoot House 24/7 going for a little bit. That was really fun. So
that's the biggest problem with me, the maps.
You don't like the Shipment and the.
No, I love the Shipment and Shoot House. That's the only thing I play. I'll either play that or Gunfight. I won't play Core because I don't like the maps.
Yeah.
Cam, what do you think?
Yeah, I actually really like this game. I'm with this. I would prefer the Battle Royale because I was pretty nasty at it, not gonna lie.
They said they're planning on adding it.
I was gonna say I thought they had talks that they were making one.
A lot of people think they added some Battle Royale stuff in the files because this update was very big for what they added, which wasn't much.
Well, I would love to see that, but if they do that, they need to up the health because you die in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but yeah, I like this game. It's all right. It's just okay to me. It's good.
Yeah, I agree. I was gonna say, so is it confirmed or is it just kind of common knowledge that? So right now we're on season 1 and they brought back some of the 1 maps in season 2. Are they gonna bring Modern Warfare 2 maps? Because Modern Warfare
Rust and
peak Call of Duty for me. I'm so excited for Terminal and Rust and those type of maps.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And High Rise. Is that
it's
like
just kind of common knowledge? Everyone just kind of thinks that's what's
It's
going to
not
happen.
confirmed though. I do want to see them make their own maps though. Some new maps.
you gotta have those that
Yeah.
Rust and High Rise. That's all I want. Do you agree? What do we think?
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be fun.
100% agree.
But in terms of then it's just a rehashing the old stuff. In terms of like being an original good game, like you gotta have some of your good original content.
But I think coming in, this was called Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Like they didn't make it a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 or 5 or whatever it is. Like this was kind of the culmination of it all, it felt like. So I like the fact that they're bringing in new. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of the new maps that they had. Piccadilly, I absolutely hate. It's trash. But
Worst map ever made.
but
I
yeah,
like it personally, but
my favorite new map I would say is probably Gunrunner or
Shoot House.
well, yeah, Shootout. Is that a new map? I like Shootout.
Yeah.
I like Hackney Yard.
Hackney Yard.
Yard's a good one.
Yeah. I like Hackney Yard.
I played Shoot House for like a straight week when it was Shoot House 24/7. That's all I played.
I do have to say, I feel like I've been playing a couple days on my own. I feel like I've been killing it. I'm ready to hop back on with y'all and show my let's get it.
Gonna have to do it.
Yeah, so let's make that happen. All right, anything else in the gaming sphere?
I have one thing. Do you guys know about the game Cyberpunk 2077?
I've heard of it. I heard it got delayed.
You really have to look into it. It got delayed. I feel like it could kind of change gaming a little bit. It's looking like it's very innovative. The city is huge, and the company behind it, I can't remember their name. They made The Witcher, which is also another really good game. And it's more of it's not as big as a company. It's more of a make the games for the fans instead of make the games for the money.
Let me ask you, is it going to be like a Grand Theft Auto where it's like free world and you go do missions, or is it story mode, or what is it?
It's open world.
If it's anything like Red Dead Redemption 2, trash, garbage,
Thumbs down.
dollars I've spent in my life.
I feel like the story was probably cool, but yeah, we
Yeah, it
couldn't.
was cool.
Online, it was bad. So
When the online worked, it was fun.
right.
When it
How do you
worked.
guys feel
When
about
it worked.
delaying games?
The Avengers one also got delayed, I think.
Yeah.
That's annoying too. That one is fun. I absolutely love the Spider-Man game, so I was excited
Mhm.
for Avengers. The fact it got delayed a little bit, it's kind of annoying, but I still feel like it's going to be a fun, cool game. It has a co-op aspect of it, I think. So that'll be fun to play with you guys. So
My take on delaying games is Avengers got delayed, Cyberpunk 2077, and then another really big title called what's it called? It's a zombies game. Anyways, it's a zombies game, and I think delaying games is good for the company. The only problem with it is developers have to crunch, which puts like a lot of stress, but you need to delay the games to make them good. I don't like rush games.
yeah, that's fair.
Well, my beef is like, you get these Call of Duties and then you get all these patches. Like it gets like when they take their time and make it perfect, then they. I mean, you're always gonna have to have patches. But
I think it's a little different. Where Call of Duty, like, I feel like.
no, this Call of Duty it felt like it was rushed.
Well, I don't know. I would say at the beginning, it felt like I was literally updating it because I don't play like every day like you guys. So I play like maybe once a week. And it felt like literally every time I got on, there was an update. It's kind of trailed off a little bit. This recent update kind of took forever, but it's different in terms of like a storytelling game where it's massive. Whereas this one, there's always little updates and like new maps and stuff like that. Whereas the other big world ones, you're creating one world and once it's there, it's supposed to be there. So a little bit different, but I know what you're saying. So
Yeah. Let's move on.
okay. Do we want to do the debate domination or what do we think here?
I think we can save that. I think we can save that. You think?
Save the debate
Yeah,
domination.
'cause, I mean,
we are
already-
running pretty long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what it's going to be. Do we want to just end here or what? How do we want to do this,
We
guys?
should do the what pisses you off.
Okay. What pisses
Yeah, I thought of a good one for this.
We could do a what pisses you off segment. Okay, so like I said with these different little segments, we're going to try and keep it segmenty. So we'll do a what pisses you off segment. We're going to keep it pop culture, but I guess you life stuff too if you want. But Cade, have at it. What's making you mad in these streets?
I'm gonna let Cam go first.
Oh,
All right. So mine's gonna be pretty obvious. So what's really pissing me off lately is Uzi teasing Eternal Take, his album that we've been waiting for over a year. He keeps teasing it, posting these little pictures and these cryptic stuff, and we're just not getting the album. And I'm getting a little sick of it, but I'm a lifetime Uzi fan, so I know Trey and Ty aren't about that, but Cade, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Everyone listening, I know you're big Uzi fans.
Is that what you were going to say too? Or do you got something different? Cade?
No, I got something different. What's really pissing me off is Disney.
Oh.
And what the slander they did to J.J. Abrams. I don't know if you heard about all that. Did you?
Yes, maybe I have. What are you talking about?
So J.J. Abrams had a lot of different ideas for episode 9, and there was pretty much a whole different movie made. But when it got to Disney, when they sent it, they changed up a ton of things. And J.J. Abrams he was quoted saying, "I don't even know what movie I watched after the premiere." And so I don't like that they changed it. And another thing.
South Park episode.
And then, yeah, pretty much Disney and how they're treating Star Wars.
Do you think they're giving more emphasis on Marvel?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're trying to get Star Wars back on its feet, but obviously they're going to focus on Marvel because it's such an easier company. They're already on a path.
Okay. Hi, you have anything chomping at the bit here?
Yeah, I got a couple things, and we touched on it a little bit in the podcast. People that are too critical of Star Wars don't have the same standard when they're criticizing Marvel. So that grinds my gears a little bit. I know we talked on it a little bit in the podcast, so I'll leave it at there. The second thing is, and we didn't get a chance to get into it, we'll save it for another podcast. But weirdos that are out there that think that Kawhi Leonard is here and ready to take the throne from LeBron James. Newsflash for everyone. It's not that time yet. You got to pump the brakes a little bit. The king is still holding on to the throne, and he's the GOAT, and he's here to stay for a few more years.
That's cap. I can't just sit back and let this happen, man.
Let's
7 straight games of 30 plus. How are you gonna tell me Kawhi doesn't have the throne, man? 0-2 against the 2-0 against the Lakers, man. LeBron has yet to beat Kawhi this year. I don't want to hear it.
Hey, we'll save the debate for another podcast.
Next podcast, we promise a debate domination.
Yeah, we'll have to put it higher up.
Right. So we'll do that. I would say if there's one thing that's kind of pissing me off, it's kind of a broad thing. And I'm just kind of pulling this out a little bit. I could, pick on a bunch of things, but the way streaming is going, I'm nervous because I personally think and predict that we're going to come to a point where cable no longer exists, and we're going to have Disney Plus. We're going to have Peacock. That's the Universal NBC. We're going to have the HBO Max. That's Warner Brothers. We're going to have, I'm sure Paramount is going to make their own network at some point. We're going to have all these apps that we have to choose to subscribe to. And you got Apple TV Plus, you got Hulu, you got all these things, and ESPN Plus, all these different things. And it's eventually just going to cost the same, if not more, than a DirecTV or a cable bill. And it's just annoying. I know it's the way of the future, and streaming right now is technically cheaper than anything else. But once you have all these different subscriptions, it's just going to eventually cost the same. And I like talking about this because I'm intrigued by the streaming wars. But as a fan and as a consumer, it's just kind of getting to the point where it's a little bit annoying. We have Peacock coming. We have HBO Max coming. We already have Disney Plus, where they unveiled, we have Mandalorian, and it was good. A lot of people loved it, but now we're kind of at a still where they don't have a Marvel show at the moment. It's coming, but I find myself trying to watch old movies and shows just to get my money's worth. I don't know. It feels like we're at a weird point in the industry where you have Netflix as the pioneer. They're going to have to pivot once Disney Plus surpasses them, if they surpass them. You got the Peacock, you got you got the HBO Max, you have all these different things. It's just a really interesting conversation, and I like talking about it. I just don't like where it's going per se. But in terms of, everyone knows I'm a writer, so it gives more opportunities for those writers and for stories. So in that regard, I do like it, but I was kind of all over the place there. But
there you go.
There you go. I think, does anybody have anything else? Last thoughts?
Nope.
Okay. Well, that is the Scrubs podcast. It was fun. It's been a long time coming. We had fun with it. We're gonna potentially, it's obviously gonna be an audio podcast, but I'm trying to dabble into some video a little bit. We'll see if we can put 2 hours on YouTube, but who knows? So like, subscribe, tell your friends. We're gonna take over the world, and the Scrubs are a part of this. Are you entertained, baby? Trey Alessio, the Dawn of Entertainment, Two Fly Tai, the brothers, and the cousins, Glovelender Cam, Cade the Turtle Killa. Tell them peace, everybody. Scrub. Bye, Scrub.
Scrub.